My name is Susan Welch. I'm Dean of Penn State's College of the Liberal Arts. I met Joe Paterno shortly after I arrived at Penn State in 1991. He was already legendary coach Joe Paterno, and I was a greenhorn, but with ambitions to help our College of the Liberal Arts become one of the nation's finest. I soon learned that Joe and his wife Sue were also enthusiastic supporters of the liberal arts, the kind of supporters that roll up their sleeves and go to work to help. In the early days, I recall a breakfast I had with Joe. We were in the midst of a periodic university cost-saving process, and we had targeted several units for reorganization, including classics. Joe wanted to let me know how important the classics were. Dean, he said, and he always called me Dean, even after we'd known each other 20 years. I hope that we'll still teach classics after this reorganization. I assured him that yes, we would, but to preserve and enrich the study of classics at Penn State, the department needed to be better integrated with other disciplines, hence the reorganization. Ah, he said, Dean, that's your business, and you have my support in whatever you do. And thus it has ever been. Joe and Sue have been steadfast supporters of the academic mission of Penn State, especially the college and the university libraries. Joe and Sue have not only given generously themselves to support our faculty, our graduate students, undergraduates, the library building, the special programs of the college and of the library. But they've invited alums into their home, spoken at events, talked about Penn State and the college with passion, planted seeds for major gifts with many donors, and helped solicit some of those gifts. Just by being at a social or academic occasion, Joe attracted the attention of our alums, not only to himself, but to our students and to our academic purposes. I recall that just last year at a reception we were having for our volunteers, donors, and friends of the college, one of them came up to me and asked if I would introduce him to Joe, who was also there. Now, this man was a CEO of a major corporation who in his career had met and worked with all sorts of global movers and shakers, including more than one US president. I did make that introduction, and later this man's wife came to tell me that talking to Joe was one of the highlights of his entire life. I saw commitment to excellence and to Penn State in every contact I ever had with Joe. So in 2008, the college developed a new leadership and honors program for our students. We named it, as Lauren has told you, the Paterno Liberal Arts Undergraduate Fellows Program. The idea was that any student could enroll in this program, as contrasted with being selected for the program, and through work and outstanding achievement, they could earn their way to an honors education. If they achieved a high GPA, took honors courses and did well, they could be admitted to the Schreier Honors College. And if they continued their achievements through such things as a double major and work in service and ethics, they could also graduate as a Paterno Fellow. The choice of the name Paterno Fellows was not to honor a football coach, but to honor a man who had committed himself to the academic excellence of our college and of Penn State, and whose life and that of Sue's exemplified the virtues of hard work, challenging goals, and high achievement. I was honored when Joe and Sue embraced this program. Last year, Joe spoke at a ceremony we had, congratulating and recognizing the first group of Paterno Fellows who had earned their way into the Honors College. Joe spoke of his pride in being associated with the program and of the impact that the liberal arts had made on his life. Always competitive, Joe asserted that we can lick the world with liberal arts. Our Paterno Fellows are quite unlike Joe's players in many respects. Probably none of the fellows could clock a 4.4 in a 40-yard speed trial or block a 300-pound tackle. But they share one thing, and in my view, the most important thing of all. They have been assisted in making their Penn State education, and I believe their lives, by the generosity, leadership, loyalty, and inspiration of Joe Paterno. By Joe's love of learning, his integrity, and his commitment to excellence in everything he did. In his 1973 commencement address, Joe, referencing the words of poet W.H. Auden, told Penn State graduates that they should live their lives so that by some little thing they will improve our world just by living. He went on to remark that in living, we shall act, and we shall act with good intentions. Hopefully, we will often be right, but at times we will be wrong. When we are, let us admit it and immediately try to right the situation. Joe's life was much more than some little thing. It was full of large and generous deeds, and a love and loyalty for his family, for Penn State, and for all of the Penn State family. And because of that, our students' families, their communities, and our society will be forever enriched by the work of Joe Paterno. His leadership and inspiration helped make Penn State an immeasurably better place, recognized the world over for its academic quality. I and all of us in the college and Penn State are indebted to Joe Paterno, what he did for us and what he inspired us to do for ourselves. He was my friend and our friend. And I want to thank you, Sue, and the Paterno family for allowing our community and campus to mourn with you publicly these last 3 days. May you rest in peace, Joe.